She's number one at being dumb, the new face of the DNC. Gather round, cause that's our Jasmine.
Yeah, baby.
Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding cake. The Democrats' new chosen one, Jasmine Crockett, is in the news again for an old clip where she attacked Florida Rep. Byron Donalds for marrying a white woman.
Greg Gutfeld unleashed absolute chaos on Jasmine Crockett live on national television, and the outcome was nothing short of a complete disaster for her. With razor-sharp sarcasm and relentless fire, Gutfeld tore her act apart piece by piece, leaving her scrambling for words in front of millions. This wasn't a calm debate. It was total demolition. Crockett showed up with scripted lines, but Gutfeld came loaded with pure heat, and the collision was explosive. The audience didn't just watch quietly. They erupted with energy while social media exploded into overdrive within seconds. If politics ever felt boring before, this moment proved it can burn like wildfire. The screen was consumed with raw chaos, and Jasmine Crockett never saw it coming until it was already far too late.
Literally, it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you.
That's not very woke, is it? Of course, Crockett isn't the only Democrat who's opposed to interracial marriage, or else more Democrats would have voted for this one. Racist!
Greg Gutfeld doesn't just argue. He annihilates, turning ordinary conversations into scorched earth battles that leave no survivors. Polite back and forth isn't his game. Instead, he slices through nonsense like a political buzzsaw fueled by sarcasm sharper than steel and energy that crushes any scripted line in its path. So, when Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett strutted into the spotlight with her usual flair for theatrics and her hunger for headline-grabbing quips, a collision wasn't just possible. It was inevitable. And when it happened, it shook the stage like an earthquake. The moment Crockett tried to puff herself up and transform committee drama into a flashy spectacle, she walked headfirst into her own downfall. Her biggest miscalculation, thinking Gutfeld would treat her with the same soft gloves the mainstream media offers. When in truth, he came armed with zero mercy and absolutely no filter.
You for no particular reason. Is she making any point there?
Like this makes me wish my mom made different father choices. Because we all get sucked into this. Like, this is... If you're going to talk about black history, at least know it. This is... At least know it, okay?
If you're enjoying this fiery clash, don't blink because it only gets wilder from here. Instead of playing it safe, Jasmine Crockett stormed straight into the lion's den. Unprepared, overconfident, and hopelessly outmatched. She's never been known for delivering real substance. Instead, she thrives as a performer disguised as a politician, skilled at shouting down opponents, tossing out catchy buzzwords, and staging TikTok-ready tantrums. Her entire career has been built on dramatic tirades, viral comebacks, and treating every microphone like an audition stage for applause. To her loyal followers, this gets spun as fighting for justice. But for everyone else watching, it's nothing more than empty noise wrapped in shameless self-promotion.
It was 45 seconds of some of the... Like, Kamala, you good right now. That was some of the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Here's the thing. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. They never have a solution. Just listen to your dumbass talk. You want to talk about agriculture? Why don't you fix the lottery? Why don't you make it easier for people who want to come into this country to work in agriculture and equitation and factories? Get rid of the lottery. Open it up. Talk to the president. Hey, we got a plan. We want to make it easier for people who can vet and come in and work in this country. Come up with an idea besides, any of y'all want to pick cotton? We're like, we're in suits in the middle of the Midwest. Why would we pick cotton? It's like the extreme stupidness of what she speaks. I'm so angry right now.
Greg Gutfeld doesn't waste time on empty noise. He cuts straight through it with sniper-like sarcasm and that sly grin that practically warns, I already know how this ends, and you're not going to like it. So, when Jasmine Crockett unleashed her latest over-the-top performance, a mix of race-baiting, deflection, and predictable partisan theatrics, he didn't step in to politely spar. He stepped in to roast, and roast he did. Every punchline he delivered painted the picture everyone else secretly saw but never dared to say out loud. Crockett wasn't standing there as a serious leader. She was exposed as nothing more than a walking viral clip clinging to attention with loud theatrics and exaggerated outrage.
She wants migrants picking cotton. We present to you Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who made this shocking argument why America needs immigrants. Roll it, Alfred.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
Just when the wheels fall off.
You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
She wasn't stepping up to ask real questions. She was performing monologues for herself. She wasn't defending solid ideas. She was chasing applause with hollow one-liners crafted for quick clips and easy clicks. And in Gutfeld's eyes, that's the lowest form of political theater imaginable. His takedown wasn't loud because it didn't need to be. It was sharp, deliberate, and dripping with contempt. Gutfeld didn't have to shout. He simply held up a mirror. And what Crockett saw was brutal. Empty rhetoric, glaring contradictions, and the flimsy logic holding up her entire persona. This wasn't just another clash. Crockett has built her brand as the self-proclaimed queen of committee theatrics. Every time the cameras roll, she serves up another meltdown filled with wild expressions, dramatic pauses, and buzzwords meant to hook cable news. But this time, her one-woman act collapsed because Gutfeld stripped it down piece by piece, exposing every exaggerated gesture, every fake outrage, and every scripted controversy with a mix of savage wit and blunt common sense.
Kilmeade, she's getting to be the face of that party.
I know, thanks to your show.
Yeah.
I don't know what's more popular, this or The View on Gutfeld. But a couple of things. Did you see, at first I thought she was doing it for comedic purposes, but you watch back, nobody had a response. They didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And she's like, oh, really? Farming? Yes, it's called eating, farming. America's got the best farmers in the world. There's glory in doing it. People do it, and the people don't do it by hand anymore. This isn't 1820. So I was just stunned by what she's saying. But the weird thing is, she probably left that room thinking she knocked it out of the park. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that anyone can stop her from being the face of the party, except Bernie Sanders, who's 111 years old, talking about oligarchs.
He shredded the absurdity of her outrage, exposing the contradictions baked into every rant she delivered. One moment she preached unity, and the very next she accused anyone who disagreed of plotting a grand conspiracy to silence her so-called brilliance. Gutfeld cut right through the act and called it what it was, a polished performance designed to hide the harsh truth that she's accomplished almost nothing of real value. And that's when things turned brutal. Gutfeld didn't just mock her theatrics. He dug deeper, drilling straight into her record, or more accurately, the glaring lack of one. For all her fiery speeches and endless energy, Crockett's actual impact in Congress has been negligible. No landmark bills, no major accomplishments, just a steady stream of viral clips and puffed-up interviews recycling the same tired talking points at higher and higher volumes. Gutfeld stripped it all down to the bone, making one thing undeniable. Crockett isn't a leader. She's a brand, more like a reality TV contestant who mistakes chaos for charisma. Sure, it might earn her Instagram fan pages and a few flashy headlines, but it does absolutely nothing for the nation.
You have an opinion on this, or should I move on to somebody?
No, I just... It has to come from me.
Yes.
Okay. None of y'all are qualified. Not just for one thing, I'm mad at Charmaine the guy because he should have kicked her out. See, the problem is is that we are allowing our own culture to be openly racist and get away with it. Now, if a white person is offended by that, and they should be, they say something, it's like, it's not the same thing. But if you say that and another brother looks at you and goes, man, you wrong for that, and I don't want you on my show, get the hell out, because I'm telling you right now, if I was not on the show, which happens sometimes, and someone was sitting in his chair and he was complaining about black men this and black that, and they shouldn't be here, and you know what happens when a white woman marries a black guy, you would not have seen that guy in the next segment. He would have kicked his ass off, because you're not going to talk about somebody that I care about like that, or another person like that. That's the problem.
Crockett's defenders rushed in with the usual outrage, crying identity politics and insisting every critique was fueled by bigotry, misogyny, or predictably, fear of her supposed power. But Gutfeld wasn't buying a second of it. He sliced through the noise with surgical precision, reminding everyone that criticism isn't hate, it's accountability. And if she can't handle accountability, maybe politics isn't her stage at all. The public's reaction was merciless. Social media exploded. Memes flew at lightning speed, with one viral image showing Gutfeld towering over a cartoonish Crockett with a caption, "Sit down and learn something." Others replayed the clash like a UFC knockout, complete with humiliating slow-motion clips. But the truth is simple. Crockett scripted this disaster herself. No one pushed her. No one trapped her. She strutted into the spotlight, mic in hand, eager to play the star, and forgot one brutal fact. Greg Gutfeld doesn't spar. He scorches.
Yes. Yeah, all right. All right, stop it. Although I must say you have great taste. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Oh, man. Okay.
It was like watching someone try to fight fire with glitter. Flashy, pointless, and completely doomed from the start. Even her usual allies began backing away, realizing this was a disaster no one wanted to touch. Gutfeld wasn't just dismantling one bad soundbite. He was tearing down the entire style of spectacle-driven politics that Crockett represents. He shined a blazing spotlight on this new wave of lawmakers who believe viral clips can replace real leadership, and he did it with humor so sharp it was impossible to ignore. Then came the knockout punch. After ripping apart her logic, mocking her theatrics, and exposing her hollow record, Gutfeld reminded everyone what real leadership looks like. It's not about shouting louder than your critics, not about staging outrage for clicks, and not about tossing insults for headlines. It's about doing the work and delivering results. Not memes, not hollow slogans, not TikTok tantrums.
Jesse, they called Musk a Nazi, and next thing you know, you got swastikas on cars. They called Trump Hitler and a Nazi and a fascist, and he got shot. So I don't really ever see that happening on the Republican side when we make fun of Democrats. It's also about the supporters. It's not just the leaders. It seems like Democrats are easily programmed to do bad things.
Yes, they are. They're very easily programmed, Greg.
I made you say that.
This wasn't just a takedown. It was a giant warning sign flashing in real time. Greg Gutfeld didn't simply shred Jasmine Crockett's act. He turned it into a brutal lesson for every politician hooked on the sugar rush of social media applause. For those who think shouting equals strength or that TikTok tantrums somehow count as policy wins, Gutfeld carved across their entire playbook with one sarcastic message. We see you. We're tired. And we're not impressed. The truth is crystal clear. This wasn't a debate. And it wasn't even close to an even match. It was the intellectual equivalent of an ambush at a vegan potluck with Gutfeld barging in carrying a rack of ribs and a megaphone, blowing the entire room apart. Crockett tried to whip the crowd into a frenzy with her usual cocktail of outrage and buzzwords. But her credibility sank faster than a leaking submarine. And this time the audience wasn't fooled. There was no applause, no sympathy. Just the heavy silence of second-hand embarrassment.
First, they cursed, now they thirst for blood. Jasmine Crockett is upping her temper tantrums, now saying the only way Democrats can win elections is by throwing hands.
I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. It's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard, right?
Crockett scrambled to recover, flailing like a broken robot, spitting out buzzwords like systemic oppression, voice of the people, and the classic, "Let me finish." But every line bounced right off Gutfeld's calm, unshaken grin. It was like watching someone try to put out a raging grease fire by yelling at it. Flashy, loud, but completely useless. Meanwhile, Gutfeld looked as relaxed as if he were already thinking about lunch, dismantling her arguments with surgical precision. Steady, sharp, and devastating. His delivery was so smooth it was almost comedic, like reading from a script. "Thank you for your outrage. Please hold while we transfer you to someone who cares." He wasn't just winning. He was cruising without breaking a sweat. And the audience, they weren't just watching, they were eating it up.
Now, she claims that she wasn't talking about Abbott's wheelchair at all. Yet she's mentioned Abbott's wheels before. In 2022, she posted Beto's rolling around the state. Where's Abbott rolling to? And according to the Washington Free Beacon, Crockett also liked several Facebook comments referring to Abbott as Hot Wheels back in 2020.
Her supporters rushed to patch the wreckage, firing off frantic tweets and scrambling to write think pieces within minutes. Some even tried emotional Instagram posts about misogyny, but no hashtag on earth could erase the scorch marks left behind. The damage was permanent. This wasn't a slip, it was a total collapse. The Empress wasn't just exposed. She was live-streaming her own downfall in real time. And Gutfeld. He had already walked away from the battlefield. His calm expression said it all. He knew he had won. This wasn't a spat. It was a cultural autopsy. A brutal dismantling not just of Jasmine Crockett, but of every politician who confuses clout for competence and tantrums for leadership.
How long is she going to keep this thing that she wasn't talking about, the wheelchair?
Yeah. Come on, babe, you know you're full of... and all that, Jasmine. I think what happened was AOC was like, "You guys, I need to triangulate and be serious now because I'm going to be a senator. So someone has to be a talking attention whore. Who's it going to be?" And Jasmine raised her hand and goes, "Excuse me, Congresswoman Cortez, I speak jive."
What it is, mama.
She threw everything she had into it, but it still fell flat because loud volume isn't vision, and hashtags will never replace a real governing plan. This wasn't about left versus right anymore. It was substance versus spectacle, reality versus showmanship. Gutfeld didn't just dismantle one politician. He ripped the curtain back on an entire trend infecting American politics, the rise of the viral lawmaker. The politicians who treat Congress like an influencer house, who see the chamber as a stage and every bill as nothing more than a script begging for clicks. Politics isn't a stage. It isn't a reality show. And it isn't a launch pad for clout chasing dressed up as activism. It's not a playground for endless slogans with no results. And if you dare treat it that way, Greg Gutfeld will be waiting in the wings, armed with wits sharp enough to torch your act and turn your career into a cautionary tale.